be the host on this occasion, I think, is too strong a term, but in the name of the community that I represent here in Birmingham, I give you warm greetings and many welcomes for those who are visitors to this city. I bring you greetings not just in the name of the Bishop of Birmingham for whom I work, but also through him in the name of all the Christian communities here in this city. You will be aware, of course, that our city has changed enormously in the last 40 or 50 years, and we are anticipating much greater change in the next 20 or 30 years. And so we are living in very exciting times in this city, as we are learning new ways to be one city, one community of humanity here, but with many different faiths represented, many different cultures, many different ways of being human. But ultimately there is only one humanity, and therefore we have much to learn one from another. And so we rejoice in this diversity in our midst. We in England and indeed in Europe, we need a great deal the wisdom of how to live with diversity and yet with one common humanity. Because our European history of dealing with religious diversity has not been good. You will know that through many centuries, the last 500 years especially, our history of dealing with difference, even within our own Christian community, has been far from an ideal, far from a model of one common humanity. And so we need to learn, and we need to learn from the spiritual wisdom of other faith traditions. And so the message that I bring to you is that each one of us have a very important role to play in shaping the future of our city. Because a city like Birmingham is today, and like it will be in 20 or 30 years' time, has never before existed in Europe. We have never before had a city like this, and what it will be like depends a great deal on how much we can all work together as people of faith, as people with a vision to create a society here which is fit and worthy for human beings to live, and something that we can live to our children and our grandchildren. And so I welcome you all very much, and I pray that you will share with us your spiritual wisdom in order to help us to learn how better we can live in unity here and respecting our diversity. I thank you very much.
The next guest I'm going to introduce is one, because they're closest to the microphone, so no one feel diminished, please. And two, they're very, very good friends of mine. This is a wonderful community known as the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association. And we have both their national representative and their local representatives here. They have invited me to their programs, and they have treated me like a king. And I'm very much impressed with their very strong faith and their very progressive understanding of the Quran, who by their association I actually read for the first time in my life. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Tahir Saudi as the speaker representing. Also my dear friend Zedanir is here, and Bazir. We know each other for a long time, but we'll ask Tahir to speak.
Your Holiness, Your Worship, Lord Mayor, Lady Mayoress, my dear distinguished guests, and all my friends here, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. I haven't come to give any speeches or anything like this. I've come to learn. And I think it's very, very important that we do try to come to such meetings to find out about different people, different ways, different customs, and so on and so forth. As Jeff has told you, we was delighted that he was able to come to our meeting, and when he invited us, we was delighted to come here to meet you all, and it's a great pleasure for us to come and to meet you and to learn from your ways and what you do. We have in our community one saying which is love all, hate for none. And I'm sure this is something which we can all strive for, because everyone wants peace. But the best way of achieving peace is to learn about each other. When we have these barriers, that creates hatred. So this sort of meeting where you invited guests to come to meet you is a very good way of breaking down those barriers. And I appreciate that, and I'm very pleased that you've given us this invitation to come. So thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
We also have Elder and Sister Hunter of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. They have a strong preaching spirit. All over the world, I've been in so many countries, and I've always met a representative of their church spreading the good word. And happy to see the good word.
Thank you. We are honored to be invited as guests here tonight. We express from our presidency of the Western Europe area their regards, their best wishes. Unable to be here tonight, but they sent with us their regards. We appreciate the courtesies that we have received over the years from your people, and we wish you the very best as you celebrate your festival. We don't totally understand your culture and your methods of worship, but what we do understand is a universal language. And that universal language is love, peace, devotion, and respect. And we have that for you, and we feel that we're sitting at the feet of a great leader. Welcome to this area, and may the Lord bless you.
At the risk of committing the offense of omission, I'm introducing our last guest. And if there was anyone else I was supposed to introduce, please forgive my offenses now. But we have from the Interfaith Peace Workers of Birmingham, Susan Halliday, and she is always working towards this unity and diversity, which we also see.
Your Holiness, brothers and sisters of Birmingham, what a joy to be here and to feel this joy and love. Sometimes I think interfaith work is better done without words. I work for many organisations. One of the organisations I work for is the Peace Promise Initiative, which is an international organisation bringing money and understanding and recognition to peace workers throughout the world. At the moment, particularly focusing my work in Jerusalem with the Palestinian and the Israeli communities. But also including Christians and Jews there as well. I'm also the founder and chairperson of Women for Peace UK, and if anyone wants to talk to me about that afterwards. But really it's my joy always to be where there are people from different faiths coming together, because I know this is where world peace starts, with us, in our hearts today.
Your language, everyone. Thank you so much again for coming and engaging me a little bit in devotional service. If not for you, I would be totally lost. And I don't think I'm the only one that feels this way. So we ask Srila to speak.
When is the meeting? It's 6:30.
6 o'clock I've got to leave. So what's...
We're not trying to throw you out.
No, it's all right. In about half an hour.
You can stay if you want. We also have Valavi is here again. Where is she? Is Valavi here? Oh, she's what?
Oh, there she is.
She should be here. With the background. In our scriptures, it's mentioned that even a moment's association with a pure devotee is worth millions and millions of lifetimes of experience in this material world. I've experienced this in the early part of my life when I first met His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. With just a little bit of association, I understood what it would be to be in the presence of a Jesus Christ or a Buddha or someone who was actually enlightened on a particular path. And now, by the mercy of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, we are being further guided by his great friend and very, very advanced devotee, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaja. Gurudev, there should be some Bhaja? Please please. Gurudev is asking that Bhaktivedanta Ashram Maharaj say a few words. Do you want to come this way, Maharaj?
Maharaj?
Tasmai Shri Gurave Vanchakalpaturu Vischa Kripa Sindhudevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasari Govinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So first I would like to offer my most respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of my dear Gurudev, Om Vishnupad Astutar Satashishmad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And also, I'd like to welcome and offer my respects unto Worshipful Lord Mayor and his wife. Also, the Mr. Sabra, I know him personally over the years. I forget his title. Council General of the country of India. And also our good friend, the representative from the Church of England, and our friends here who we're just meeting now for the first time, O.P. Sharma, who I've known for about practically as long as I've been a Hare Krishna. I've known O.P. Sharma and his good wife, who always I'm ringing, trying to contact Mr. O.P. Sharma. And I also like to welcome our friends here from Latter-day Saints, and also my friend Mrs. Holidays, who I've also known for over a decade, I believe. And also I'd like to thank all devotees and friends for coming and giving me a chance to say something. So I feel very honored to speak in front of a distinguished assembly here. And I thank you for all coming to help us to start our festival. And it is very, very nice that especially the leader of Birmingham and also religious leaders of the Birmingham community are coming here to welcome Srila Gurudev, because Srila Gurudev is traveling all over the world as an ambassador coming from Goloka Vrindavan to bring the message of peace and love. And here in Birmingham, as has been said by many of the speakers, it is a very diverse community. People from different cultures, different races, different religions, all working together. But how this will actually have some real fruition is when there's real spiritual guidance. So it's very nice that the mayor, he himself is coming here, because this is acknowledgement of the necessity for that spiritual guidance which is needed in all sectors of life, especially amongst those who are taking political responsibility. In the Vedic history, we see that the leaders, the rishis, the kings, rajas, they're called Raja Rishis. They were kings, but at the same time, they were highly involved transcendentalists. That they always took advice from the religious leaders. And in this way, they were able to rule over their kingdoms with their political expertise, but at the same time understanding that the real welfare for the people was their spiritual elevation. If we have a society of people that have so much diversity, economic development, good material facilities, but at the same time there's not that spiritual understanding, that spiritual basis which is there, then ultimately that society will crumble. It will not last. Because that which brings moral value in a very substantial way is coming from that spiritual substance. So, my message is that leaders of community here, that we come together and we see how we can take from each other those spiritual principles which are universal to all, and understand that ultimately that we all have one source. There's one God. Whether you call him Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, my country, Nigeria, we say Chineke, Olorun, different names, but one God. And ultimately, the source of achieving that God is the process of love, the process of devotion. Different names and different religious paths, but bhakti. And this is universal. So wherever that fruit of love of God is there, regardless of what external traffic that it has, then we should take that. We should judge a tree by the fruits. We're practicing a particular religious process. We see that those people practicing, they're actually developing real qualities, real saintly qualities of love of God. That also, along with these saintly qualities, then there's truthfulness, peacefulness, equanimity. These secondary qualities are coming. Then we should honor that, and we should see how we can learn from that and also progress. We should not be so much stuck on the external trappings, but we should deal with the essence. Mr. Opishan was saying the word Dharma. That Dharma means that intrinsic quality which is there from the makeup of a substance. Just like the Dharma of water is liquidity, the Dharma of fire is heat. So the Dharma of the living entity is not black, the living entity is not white, the living entity is not Hindu, the living entity is not Muslim, the living entity is not Christian, but the living entity is a minute part and parcel of that Supreme Personality of God. Whether you call him Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Yahweh, what have you. And the intrinsic nature is to love. And that loving propensity is manifest through service. So we can all learn together how we can love, how we can serve that one God. And by watering the root of the tree, meaning serving God, then ultimately we'll be doing service to humanity. But if we do so much service to humanity, but we don't water the root of the tree, if we water the leaves, if we water the branches, if we even water the trunk, then the tree will not survive. We have to see how we can water the root. And this is Dharma. This is the Dharma of the living entity, to develop this love for God. So I'm very happy that we're all coming, especially Worshipful Mayor. And we hope that we can also give something to you that you'll be able to take and utilize in helping the people of this very nice city of Birmingham. Thank you very much.
and the lotus feet of my spiritual guru, Om Vishnu Srila Bhakti.Tv Maharaj, and my Shiksha Guru, Om Vishnu Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. Perhaps you know that my English is broken. I can speak very well in Indian languages. But if you want to hear my broken English, then I will speak. But you should understand the meaning yourself. I am very happy that you have all managed, or representing of all community from Birmingham, especially Mayor. He represents from top to bottom everyone. So I think that all are here from Birmingham. Also representative of India, of General Translator is here. So Indian all are here. Also I am happy that the representative of Christianity, of our Sanatan Dharmist, my brother Muslims, Sikhs, and all are here. I heard them and I became very happy. Universal or unity in diversity, I heard. I also appreciate my Om Prakash ji, that nothing to tell me, he had told everything that I wanted to say. Because he is a learned person, he knows, he has studied Indian scriptures. Especially I became happy that he quoted something from our Vedas, Upanishads. And he told that anywhere it has had not written Hindu word, even in Vedas, Sanatan, Arya, like this. So someone may think that we are sectarians, but never. We believe that we are in the family of one God. All humans, not only human. Someone think that all humans are, the family of God. But I think even brushes, plants, creepers, animals, fishes, all created by God, and all are children of the same one God. So why we should not have love and affection for all creepers, cows, animals, hogs, pigs, elephants, not only humans, but we see that so many good instructions in Vedas, in Quran side, in Bible, but we don't disobey to some extent. We think that all the animals and birds and only to take only. There should be no love and affection. He told that God is love. Love is God. In Indian Vedic culture, it has been everywhere written like this. Sarve Sukhina Bhavantu. We quoted that. All should be happy. What all? Not only humans, but even creepers, all animals, hogs, pigs, and fishes, all. Because I told you that all they are in family of same God. And as he told that there is no so many gods, Supreme Lord. Only one, as he told, God, Allah, Khuda, Brahma, Bhagavan, and others what is Yahweh and others. Same. But according to language and different the cultures, he has been called. Allah means, what is the meaning of Allah? Greatest. Brihat. Brihatva, Brihnatva. Who is the most one? In him all creation, all universe are there. In his every pore of skin. Millions and millions of universe are there. In a moment he can destroy all universe, and in a moment he can create new and new millions of universe. So if we had love to same God, then why to quarrel? Same God, one God, but we are quarreling. We don't know what is love and affection. If there will be affection and love for one God, then we should have love to each other. And that is why it has been told. Sarve Sukhna Bhavantu. All should be happy. But who is all? Also in Vedas it has been told. Vedas means, don't you think that in Hinduism is Kripa? Vedas means knowledge. What knowledge? Who are we? Who is super soul? What is our relation? What is mortal? It is a bag of urine, latrine and blood and all these things. This is not so. We are not these. We are part and parcel of the same Supreme Lord. Top to bottom, all animals, creepers, or human demigods, all. And he is Advitiyam Ekam Eva Advitiyam. What we see in this world? Only his expansion. Expansion of his power. So, I think it will be better that we should know what is happiness. And we should try to follow really Vedas, Bible, Quran Sharif and other books. I think the teachings of all are like saying some difference of languages. So, in Vedas it has been told, Nalvat Subham, Bhuma Eva Eva Bigijyasu Tabdam. Worldly things, they cannot give us happiness. Supreme Lord is Ananda and Anandamaya too, both. He is himself happiness, and he is the container of all akhanda happiness. Now, being the part and parcel of the same Supreme Lord, we have divided this earth. This is my country, this is my country. But sun is also one, air is one, everything is one. Then we should also be one, unity in diversity. Okay? So if Supreme Lord is Anandamaya, Ananda, he is happiness and container of happiness, abode of all happiness. Then, if we are the children of the same God, then we are also same thing, part, that we are also like happiness, embodiment of all these things. Only the difference between Supreme Lord and we, that he is Vibhu, we are Anu, we are minute, and he is
very big.
unlimited, akhanda tattva. So we must be like him, But unfortunately, we have deviated from that supreme law. Now we have forgotten that who are we? We think that all this physical body, material body is myself. And by that, something collected, money, position, gold, or other things, they can make me happy. But really this is wrong. Because our body is mortal. All collectively, all the scientists and doctors of the whole universe, they cannot stop our old age. You should always remind this. Remember that we will have to be one day, after 10 years, after 20 years, after 100 years, you will have to be old. All beauty and power will go away. You cannot walk without the help of any stick. And after some time you will die. Getting everything, what you have collected in this world by this body, it will not save you. Only what will save? If you are really serving Supreme Lord. It is very attractive. It is very handsome, beautiful. I think in Bible it has been written, God created man after his own image. What is the meaning? God created man after his own image. If he has no image, then why in Bible it has been written? But his body is transcendental, not mortal. To some extent, what we think, but it is wrong. Also, God means G-O-D, G generator of this world, O, operator of this world, and D, destructor of the whole world. He nourishes all, he supports all. If he cannot have a form, transcendental form, if he is not merciful, if he is nirakar, nirgun, no mercy, then what is the use of worshipping God, focus God? He has power to make a form. He is very merciful. He has created the whole world. Why? Because we were deviated from him. His power, illusory Maya, has kept us in prison of this body and in this. So we should always remember this. In India, in Vedas, in Upanishad, there is a very small upakhyan, like a history. Once, I will tell you. Upakhyan. That once there is a high class of sage that he told Rishi, Muni, his name was Jagyaval. In the council of very elevated Janak Maharaja. He was realized so. He used to know who am I, Jivatma and Super Soul. Once he was sitting with his two wives, Maitreyi and Katyayani. He told to his wife, my dear wives, now I am too old. I have collected so much gold, position, cows, so good ashram, abode of living. Now I want to divide it in you. I am distributing my whole wealth, property, everything in two. And I have given also children, so you should be happy. And let me permit that I should go to forest to meditate Supreme Lord. One Kantani told, I am very happy that now you are giving your whole wealth to us and children also you have given, and a wife's duty is to help his husband. So if you are going to meditate Supreme Lord, very gladly you can go. But second wife Maitri told, I have a question. Give answer and then you can go happy. And she told, you want to give us gold, position. You are all wealth. You have given us children. And you are telling that you should be happy with all these things and let me permit to go to forest. But my question is that, all these golds, wealth, children's, wife, and position that you had, they could not give you happiness of your life, or they gave. If you are satisfied by that they can give me happiness, that as you are telling, then why you are going? But what for? And then, Jagyavalkya Rishi became very happy, embraced her wife, his wife, and told, certainly, gold, wealth, reputation, any position are all nashwa, mortal, temporary. They cannot give us real happiness of our life. Only this reservoir of our happiness, Ananda, by serving his lotus feet, meditating, chanting in this world, and having full faith on him, anyone can be happy. Anywhere is not happiness. Only in the lotus feet of Supreme Lord there is happiness. If you are chanting, remembering, he may wish you that you should be happy. So in Quran also we see, Inna Allaha khalaqa min surati. Surat means form. Same thing as the Indian scripture has, Sate Usamna Idam Agraasi. Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Go Prayogasam. Jarmitram Paramanandam Purna Brahmasana. Everywhere in Vedas, Upanishad and Puran it has been written that we are all children of one happy or happiness, that is Supreme